That was unexpected. Thanks, Mert. I was just at a talk last week of one of the most eminent primatologists in the country, and he was making an argument about that chimpanzees have culture based on the fact that they can do simple tool use and they can pass that down through generations. I kind of see what he means, but I'm not so sure. I think, that Homo sapiens are really the species that exemplify innovation and creativity. All children all over the world are biologically, naturally inventive. So imagine a child whose dream it is to be an inventor, to create something that the world has never seen. Well, in our small way at the Lemelson Foundation, we've created a series of programs to train the budding inventor, to encourage the developing inventor, and to recognize the successful American inventor. So if you're a child, you can go to the Hands-On Science Center at the Smithsonian Museum, or attend a lecture or a symposium, or attend our upcoming traveling exhibit called Invention and Play. You can go to the Lemelson-MIT website, where the invention dimension, where you get the most comprehensive coverage and knowledge about what it takes to be an inventor in the modern world. If you live in the inner city in Los Angeles, you can go to the African American Male Achievement Network's International Science and Invention and Discovery Center, where kids are mentored by other members of the community to encourage their potential as scientists and inventors. As a high school student, you could apply for the Lemelson-MIT's new Invent Teen Grants, which is a new initiative to foster invention and innovation on the high school level. Teams are created that are composed of students, business leaders, and teachers to come up with new inventions and innovations that have relevance to their community and to themselves and to their future. Or, as a high school student, they could win the Invention Apprenticeship, where we link up promising high school students, and some of them are in the audience right now, past and present. Like this year's winner, we link them up with scientists and other inventors to mentor them over the course of their career. Like this year's winner, Kavita Shokla. Kavita will apprentice with Dave Payton, who's a research scientist at Hughes Research Lab in Malibu. Kavita just received her first patent for an ecologically friendly packaging made out of fenugreek seeds, which both retards bacterial growth and is edible, tastes good. So I'd like to ask her to stand and be recognized. In that space between high school and college, they could apply for a Mites Fellowship at MIT, where high school students from traditionally underrepresented ethnic groups, such as Latinos, Native Americans, or African Americans, spend 6 intensive weeks in preparation for admittance into the top science and engineering programs in our country. In college, they could apply for a National Collegiate Inventors and Innovators Alliance grant. We give many of those each year, again, for teams of students who are both designers, inventors, and business people to bring their inventions greater to development and then bring them to market. Or if they're interested in bringing new inventions and innovations for the disabled, they could go to Hampshire College and sharpen their skills at the Lemelson Assisted Technology Development Center, or they could join one of the wonderful E-teams at MIT. In graduate school, they'd be eligible for the Lemelson-MIT Student Prize. I went last month to award that to Andrew Hayfitz, who is a young inventor who almost didn't come to the program because he had better things to do. He actually, using his aerial photography, using a small rocket that takes a 360-degree panoramic aerial view, he's actually searching for pirates' treasure, and this is true, in Honduras. He also has created the first engine, rocket engine, using both kerosene and liquid nitrogen that he'll be able to reach into outer space from his backyard. That's pretty impressive. If they've reached the pinnacle of their career, they'd be eligible for what we're rewarding tonight, the Lemelson-MIT Prize. And finally, as a capstone to a creative and fulfilling life as an inventor, they'd be eligible for our Lifetime Achievement Award. So we really run a cradle-to-grave operation here. In some ways, this imagined child is extraordinarily privileged to live in arguably the freest and wealthiest society in human history, where this freedom and wealth and privilege were created in part by the extraordinary creativity and productivity of American minds. But what if this child lives in a society, like several billion people do today, without electricity, where she only stands a 70% chance of reaching her 5th birthday because of waterborne gastrointestinal infections, where if she does survive, the lack of proper nutrition, due in part to inadequate methods of food refrigeration, stunts her intellectual growth, where her lack of access to higher education further dampens her drive to create, where, even if she has a groundbreaking idea, there's little or no seed capital available to develop it further, where she has to do mind-numbing manual labor on a daily basis just to mill rice or crush seeds to make oil, where there's generally no encouragement or recognition by her peers in society, even if she does create a new invention. Well, we at the Lemelson Foundation want to do something for this child too, and that's why we started a major new initiative to promote and encourage new technologies and inventions addressing basic human needs in the developing world. So the next potential Bell or Edison in India or Nigeria or Indonesia can have an opportunity to change the world for better.